Hello again, Don't Chauffeur, and welcome to another video. And this one's going to be a bit of an interesting tech video. And I think it's definitely one I'm looking forward to talking about. And this one is actually going to be about the Xbox 360, and I'll show you right here. This the Xbox 360. Obviously, this is the slim one. This is not the original, but a quite nice design of it. I actually did show this when I was talking about with third-party games on the Wii U about the Wii U and the PS3 or 360 being a good deal, you know, for games and stuff. Nowadays it isn't really. Yeah, the Xbox 360, an interesting console that I think is one that a lot of people really love. And I think it's just insane of how, you know what I mean, how many consoles Microsoft sold with this. Now, the Xbox 360, obviously this isn't the original design, but obviously it's the original sort of like grey model. Now, overall, let's put that on the floor. The Xbox 360 came out in 2005, November 2005, and it actually came out for us in Europe, UK and Europe, in December that year. And back then, I was actually 10 years old. I was actually in primary school when this console came out. And I'd actually recently started year 5 at that point. And it's just crazy to say that. And I do remember, you know, hearing about it and seeing adverts and stuff. And my uncle actually wanted one. I think he did eventually get one. And he played a lot of great games on it. He just loved the heck out of it. And I think it's definitely a good console. I played a lot of great games on it that it's amazing. It really is. Just one of the best. I think just so much great stuff on it. But yeah, one thing I'll do is I'll show you the parts of it, so I'll end up standing up for this one. So obviously, you know, there you've got the disc tray, and that's a bit mucky there. On there you've got the disc tray, so you got the button, you know, to turn it on and stuff. You got this button, which is sync. There you just got a flap with a few USBs. On that side you just got the logo, the Xbox 360 logo up there. On there you've got 3 USBs, you've got the Connect part, you've got an Ethernet part. There's 2 parts here. One is for the AV, which you can use the composite or the component. There's a part there for an HDMI part, so if you want to use HD. There is a PDIF part, I think that's for like sounds and stuff. I'm not entirely sure. And you've got a power part there. So yeah, pretty nice design and stuff. One thing that's actually interesting, obviously, is where the hard drive goes in. Now, you've got the port there, haven't you? You've got like a little grid there, if I can get it open. Which just opens like that, and you've got a hard drive in there. So yeah, and this was actually a 250GB hard drive. So yeah, nice design and stuff. One thing that's interesting with this console is that the games are actually on DVD-ROMs. So with that, you can actually play DVDs and CDs on here, which is a nice thing. But with the PlayStation 3, one thing I forgot to mention is that it actually plays Blu-rays as well. Well, I did mention that, but obviously the games that were made on the PS3 were actually on Blu-rays, BD-ROMs, which could hold up to more data and more storage than a Xbox 360 game. PS3 games could hold up to like 50GB, whereas the Xbox 360 could hold up to like over near 8.4GB. But a lot of the games were actually made on multiple discs later on in its life, because obviously the storage was really limited for the Xbox 360, which was a shame with that. But that's just how it goes. With the PS3, you could play Blu-rays, DVDs, and CDs on it, whereas this could play DVDs and CDs only. One thing I just want to show is the controller. Now, I've actually got a few controllers here. Now, this one was actually the original that came with my Xbox 360. As you can see, it's a wired controller. I originally got the core model, which was like the cheaper version, until it was replaced with the arcade. And my thoughts about the controller is, it's actually quite nice. I think it just feels really nice in the hands. Buttons feel really good, you know, all mushy, nice and everything. Obviously you can't really feel the decals on the thumbsticks, because obviously, you know, I've played a lot on this over time, so yeah, it's quite nice and stuff. I did eventually get a wireless controller with the same design, and I don't actually know where that is. It's somewhere in this bedroom, but same thing, it's actually quite nice. I also got another one, which is a third-party one, and it's actually a good control. It's actually a good price when I bought it, and that's it. So it is. This one's a Mad Catz one, which is, as we all know, they went out of business a while ago, but that's, you know, that's just how it goes, really. Same thing. Buttons are nice, you know what I mean? Everything's clicky. Yeah, no complaints there. And then I actually have another one, which is this one. This is the newest one that I bought with that came with Slim. Again, same design, controls everything, pretty nice. So yeah, so I just want to talk about, you know, my thoughts about it overall. As I said earlier, it came out in 2005, and I was actually in year 5 at primary school. And I do remember hearing about it everywhere. And the thing with the Xbox 360 was, there's actually a lot of great games for the console. I think there was so much great stuff on it, and my uncle really wanted one, and he did eventually get one, because at that time, my uncle was really into video games. Unlike nowadays, he's sort of moved on with things. But back then he loved video games, he loved everything, you know, everything about it. And he actually did own an original Xbox, and when the 360 came out, he eventually did get one. And he loved playing so much on there, just a good thing. And I remember one of the games I was really into was Fusion Frenzy. And when I grew up with the original Xbox, Fusion Frenzy alongside racing games was the game that I loved to play. Fusion Frenzy. If you've never played it, basically what it is, it's basically Microsoft's Mario Party. It's a bloody great game. It's actually really affordable now. And I played so much on that, and then when Fusion Frenzy 2 came out, I was really excited. And my uncle eventually got one, and I remember I played it, and I just didn't like it. It was a game that just really got on my nerves. I think the character, the host character in the game, it became a bit of a nuisance afterwards. Some of the mini games were okay, some of them were not that interesting, but overall, to me, it was just an okay game, and I've not really played it ever since. But I might end up eventually playing it again, see how it is, you know, how it's changed. I have heard that people do like the game, but I know most people don't like it. So it was kind of disappointing for me. But there were other games I eventually played. Played a bit of Halo 3. I remember I played that years ago. Years later, sorry. And I liked Halo. I think it was a good game and franchise. I've not played the later ones because I don't own an Xbox One yet. So I think when I do eventually get one, I will try them out. And then obviously you had the the Project Gotham racing games, which were bloody amazing. A lot of the Sega stuff, buy it, great. Sonic and Sega All Stars Racing and the second one, two of the best games I've ever played on the 360, even though they are on PS4. It's like PS3 and the Wii. Bloody great games. And there was just so much great stuff on it that made it worthwhile. So much great content that is amazing. And I still, to this day, collect games for the Xbox 360. I actually got one for Christmas back in 2007. And I played a lot of great games on that time and stuff. So much great stuff. And over time I just started buying, more games. I got some for Christmas, and that's just how it went. And unfortunately, my Xbox 360 core model, it ended up red ringing after a while. And over time, it just kept red ringing, and then I couldn't really do much with it every time it did that. So what I used to do these tricks that people used to put on YouTube and videos, and they're saying, wrap a couple of towels on under it, you know what I mean? Wrap towels around it whilst it's on, and then it will overheat itself, and you can turn it back on. a few times that would work, but it lost about a few days or to a week. So I actually kept doing that constantly every time that happened. I also did the cotton bud trick where you stuck a few cotton buds at the back of it whilst it was on, and the fan would stop. That would work for a few days, and then that was it. And then in March of 2016, March of 2013, a few days before my 18th birthday, it did the same thing. And overall, it constantly red ringed 22 times. No joke, it red ringed on me 22 times. And after a while, I just thought, screw it. I'm just going to get another one. You know what I mean? So I actually got rid of it. I kept all my controls, I kept all my accessories, games and everything. And around that time, I was actually going to think about buying a PlayStation 3. But obviously, I'd have to, build up a new library. And I thought, well, I'll just get another Xbox 360, so then I can play all these games. And I eventually got this one, and I was so happy once I got it. But luckily, I only had to wait a month for that, because I spent my birthday money on an Xbox 360 Slim, and then after that, I just played lots of great games and stuff. I think one thing that did shock me was last year when Microsoft discontinued it back in April. And I think it wasn't a shock of, wow, you know what I mean? It's a shame to hear that. It's a shock thinking it lasted that long, you know what I mean? And I think a lot of people have great memories with the Xbox 360, and I can't blame them. There's a lot of great games on the console that make it worthwhile. Another thing that was interesting with the Xbox 360 was it actually had Xbox backwards compatibility. So how it played basically is you needed an official hard drive to play those games on the console. And basically once you had an official hard drive connected, you could play original Xbox games on the 360. And it played it via emulation. And some of the emulation on it is actually really good, but a lot of it is sort of glitchy on for certain games, which is a bit of a shame. But most of the games I've played on, through its backwards compatibility, plays really, really well. It's it's amazing, and it's nice to play them in through HDMI. So it is. Even though now, obviously, the Xbox One now plays original Xbox games, not all of them though. It plays 13 of them, and that's the thing about it. I think one of the worst things with the 360 was the red ring of death, which was a pain that people really, really didn't like. A lot of people replaced those Xbox 360s so quickly. I actually had a friend of mine who I've not spoken to in years, and he actually went through 6 Xbox 360s and then bought a PlayStation 3 because it just aggravated him so much. It really, really did. And it was just a pain for a lot of people. But it was good once they released a Slim, you know what I mean? That was the thing that they needed. Because the PS3 actually had the yellow light of death for many years until they released a Slim. And even the Wii had its own issues with the disc drive. A lot of older Wii units actually struggled to play dual-layered games. Yeah, and that's the thing about it. But I think once they all got those problems sorted, it made it a lot more interesting. So yeah, Xbox 360, a great console. If you've never ever got into the console, well worth it. There's a lot of great games on there. I know some play on the Xbox One, but not all of them. The console's really, really cheap nowadays. The controls, accessories, everything. Games, a lot of them bargain prices, so they are. That's the thing. These older consoles are really, really cheap nowadays. So, well worth it if you want to get into it. And, yeah. I just want to say, a good console overall, and I like it and stuff. So I just want to say, hope you enjoyed this video, hope you, liked it and stuff. And I'd love to hear what your thoughts, about the Xbox 360. What did you like about it? What did you not like about it? I'd love to hear what your thoughts about that are. So I just want to say, thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, and my next video will be on Tuesday. So I just want to say, hope you look forward to that, and I'll see you all later. Have a great weekend as well. Bye.